Now we're going to be adding some decorations to the blade. So we're going to be doing some green stuff lettering, maybe some filigree. Now this is assuming that you've already got your hilt components already made. Okay, so your crossguard, your grip, pommel, everything is already made, but you're going to leave them off to the side. And the reason for this is you don't really want to be handling this blade or this sword a whole lot after you have the green stuff components in place, because you can easily dislodge them. You can easily break them off, and you'll have to redo them. So if you were to, for example, you make your outline of your blade on your plastic card, say that you draw your blade, and then you do your green stuff, say you do some lettering, and then you start cutting this out and you start adding some edge bevels to it, you're going to be handling this blade a lot, and you're going to be removing that green stuff. So you want to do this in the right order, okay? It's the opposite of when you're doing cutouts. If you're doing cutouts, you do those first, then you cut out your blade, you add your bevels, you do your hilt components, and then very last, before you assemble everything, is this step, okay? The reason for that, again, is so that you're handling the blade as little as possible. To that end, you're going to first start with some 600 grit or finer sandpaper. 600 is fine. The paint will fill in any real scratches generally when you prime this up and paint it. But you're going to want to get rid of any scratches that you may have made with the heavier grit sandpaper. You want to do the flats. And you're going to want to, you could lay this out and use the ruler like we did when we were defining the flats, but I've sort of already refined this one with a knife, so the edges should look pretty good already. But that's definitely something that you want to keep track of. And if you used a file with a really fine face to it, then that's probably a great way to go as well. Probably really smooth already. Okay, the hilt components, not terribly important if you're going to cover them. However, if you're going to leave them exposed in your design, clean them up as well. After we have all this cleaned up and sanded, take a little bit of alcohol or hand sanitizer is fine. You just want something wet and something that will clean up finger oils. Okay. Then we're going to take some tape, and we're going to tape off the space we're not going to use, and that way we can handle this without it getting gross again. So we got a little bit of alcohol. We're just going to clean this up. Okay. Airbrush cleaner works as well. You want to be careful though, because if you're using something with too much acetone in it, it will actually melt the polystyrene or the plastic card. So give this a good cleaning. This will remove scratches, but it will also now prepare this surface for the green stuff. Okay? Alright, and the other benefit is that the alcohol evaporates quickly. Make sure you don't have any cotton hang-ons from the Q-tip. Alright, now roll out yourself some green stuff. Add your details. I'll bring you along for that, what I'm going to do, but if you have your own plan, go ahead and get to that. So we'll be right back. Before you start messing with green stuff, if you've been using your same workplace to do all of the filing and all of the sanding, make sure that you don't let your green stuff get dusty. You're going to have a lot of dust from the plastic card hanging around, which is no bueno. You're going to want to sweep that away, and then you're going to wash your hands. Okay? Alright, so now that this is super fresh green stuff, we are going to add some lettering. And so the first thing, depends if you want to make your lettering blocky or if you want to make it really spidery, you know, really thin and elegant. That just depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to kind of do a I'm going to do some kind of thinner lettering. Bring you in here closer. There we go. We're going to do the letter E, sort of a stylized E. There we go. We're going to do E-O-S, Latin for dawn or beginning. On the other side, we're going to do A-T-R-A, which is black. So it's going to be black beginning or black dawn. Since my tabletop army was Dawn Crusade, the Black Templars, we're going to make a reference to them. So this is going to look a little bit like the euro symbol. You could also do some Old English if you wanted to. Should look pretty good. I'm going to see how this turns out. If it doesn't look good, I may just do Old English. You see how I'm not touching this face? I am touching the other side. So when I go to sculpt that one, I'm going to want to be very careful that firstly I don't dislodge. So if I flip this over and I'm working on this side, I don't want to dislodge what I've done. And I also don't want to get it oily. So I'm going to have to clean the back face when I start on that one as well. So get the tip of your knife when you're doing removal. Get the tip of it a little bit oily so that you don't have the green stuff sticking. All right. Now let's go for a pointy. Now the plan is that I'm going to do E and then do a little stud, O, stud, S. Okay, so I am going to leave some space there before I get to the guard. Okay, by the time I get to the ricasso, it should be evenly spaced with, hopefully, with the cross there, so everything looks nice and spaced. You don't want to space everything, run out of room, and then squish everything at the bottom. You know, like when you did at the science fair making your poster board and it looks terrible. Anyone else ever do that as a kid? So, those are some tips for doing lettering. It's a short video, but it is very important that you have everything nice and clean, and you're going to have everything spaced correctly. You could also, if you're not good at eyeballing it, draw it out. So essentially what we're going to do with this is E, O, S, like that. And then here is the bottom. The guard takes up about this much. So that should be just right. So then we can add another cross, or we'll add a sun or something there. And that would look pretty good. So give that a try, guys. Just make sure that you're doing things in order. And then after all of this cures, if you do both sides, assemble your guard, assemble it as you would. That should be it. Thanks so much, guys.